Welcome back to everyone's favorite improv and general topic conversation, the To Be Continued podcast. I'm your host, Troy, with my co-host, Mr. Super Coffee Cannon.
Yeah, I don't know why it's called Super Coffee. I'm not sure what's in this thing. I like my coffee regular. I'm not trying to get any mutant powers, not just yet. But, I mean, if that's what happens, I guess that's what happens.
So we're trying out a little something new. I went and picked us up a couple of different drinks, and we're just going to talk about how we feel about the flavor and stuff. You know, I like to try out new things. I think that's something that we do quite often, actually. We'll go, work out, and then we'll go try something new. Usually it's a pretty good banger, but sometimes you get those that wasn't worth it sort of feelings.
Oh, yeah. No, there's plenty of opportunities to fuck up some breakfast or lunch or whatever at some random place. And I feel it is much more difficult to do so after a good workout because you're just hungry, right? Food's just going to, for some reason, taste a bit better because you just really want it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything tastes better as soon as you're, done working out, whether it's, biking, hiking, swimming. You go do anything for an hour, you're going to be like, man, this slice of cheese tastes like a gourmet slice of cheese all of a sudden.
Yeah, this slice of cheese was definitely American.
American. You know, I think pepper jack's actually my favorite flavor of cheese, but what about you?
Yeah, I have no fucking idea. I mean, I like pepper jack. If they're asking me, hey, what kind of cheese do you want? I'll really look at it, and if there's pepper jack, I'll probably say that just because, I like a little spice to everything, but I'm not sure. That's fine. Goat's pretty alright. Gouda can be whatever. Swiss is terrible.
I mean, the thing with cheese, right? I feel like none of us really get enough experience with it. You have charcuterie boards, you have, the cheese section in the grocery store, but the problem is none of us can afford that most of the time.
Yeah, no. Cheese can be extremely expensive. You get a wheel of cheese, I'm talking a rent payment. I'm good, man. I'm trying to pay my rent. I'd rather live somewhere than have some fucking expensive cheese, but, I mean, I'll definitely swipe some cheese off someone else's plate, you know what I mean?
I mean, if it's your regular cheese stuff, your Colby Jack, your Monterey, your Swiss, you can get that for $2 to $5. I mean, you can get a nice brand for $5, but
yeah,
most bags are $2 to $5. But if you go to that cheese section, it's gonna be $10 for a little wedge of cheese that's 1 ounces, and you're like, I don't know if this is worth it, and I don't know if I can experiment with this money either.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Cheese is like a condiment to me, man. I'll add it to something just to have something else on it, but I don't require it.
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely gotten used to just ordering regular hamburgers nowadays because I'm I don't want to pay an extra $1 for cheese.
Yeah, well, it's not really doing that much for me.
All right, let's get into this drink before we get too far away from that. So I got Health Aid Kombucha watermelon flavor because I haven't tried the watermelon flavor. I know I like the Kombucha brand. I was like, watermelon, that's different.
Yeah, and I've been handed some Positive Energy Super Coffee. Good old original white man vanilla flavored, sweet and extra creamy.
Hey, I will say about that one, I was thinking a little bit about it because I didn't want to get you a regular energy drink.
Yeah, that's good.
So, I mean, their story is that they take out the bad stuff. It's no added sugar. They add protein.
Yeah.
And it's sweetened good with monk fruit, so it's not even super sugary.
Yeah, no, it looks good, right? It's got 70 calories, keto, lactose free, gluten free.
See, I thought about you, man. I was like, I'm gonna get something good for him. He's on his diet. I don't want to get him a Starbucks double shot with 100 grams of sugar in it.
Yeah, and this is the week where I gotta get back on that diet because
You've been off.
Yeah, I mean I was sick for half a month.
Let's see if I can get this sound of the kombucha on the. I can't even open it.
Enhanced.
Oh my god.
Feels like something you probably should have done before we started.
There it goes. I think we got that. Oh, nice little hiss. Oh, that's not good. I like this brand, but wow, that tastes like cucumber skin. Yeah, this is the white part of the watermelon. It's not the sweet. It still tastes like watermelon, but it's definitely the rind of the watermelon.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you can definitely tell they took something out of this coffee. It's not terrible. And I'll drink it. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it, but if it was right there, And I was like, I could go for some coffee or something. It's not that bad, especially if me being more conscious of what I've been putting into my body and such. So it's all right. But that was off one sip. It might turn great or terrible.
I will say yours was about $3.
All right, I'm not paying for it then.
I mean, that's not. I'm
not paying $3 for this. I can get a 1 calorie. I'm not trying to. This is 70 calories. I got 70 cups of coffee, black. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna wake up.
I mean, like, if you're not a black tea drinker, $3 isn't that bad. But like, yes, black tea does cost like 10 cents. And mine was $4.
It was a nice size to it.
It is a nice size. They got nice glasses and stuff. Nice recyclable glass bottle. But I definitely would have picked one of their other flavors if I knew that the watermelon was so bad. Because I do like this brand, and their dragon fruit or whatever, it's pretty good.
It's a nice logo. I like the way it looks.
It's funny. I actually know a little bit about this brand. They start off making hair regrowth supplements. And they couldn't regrow. They couldn't make the stuff for kombucha. There's like a little like SCOBY or whatever. Mm-hmm. They couldn't make that fast enough for selling to the market for the hair because that's what they were going to do. They were going to break down the SCOBY and like put it on people's heads or whatever.
All right.
So they were just like, well, we have all this kombucha. Let's just try selling that. And turns out it's pretty tasty.
Well, sometimes you start something and you end up with something else.
I mean, that's how it goes, right? You think you're going to become an astronaut, and you're just going to become a mailman.
Yeah, I guess that is definitely a route. I'm not going to lie, I thought you were going to say like milkman because they both wear white.
I mean, sometimes you're going to become a milkman, and then the job goes out because we stopped getting milk deliveries.
I mean, Uberwise is still out there delivering milk.
I will say, I did do some DoorDash and some Instacart and stuff to like do some side hustle, and man, grocery delivery sucks. I took one order. It was pretty good pay. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was $27 for one order, but it was like 60 items on their grocery list, and it took me like an hour and a half to go get it.
Is that when you had to like go in the store and go and actually pick everything out?
Yep.
It's like, if we don't have this, substitute it for either this or this.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. My biggest gripe with it is when the store doesn't have the right thing, and like you gotta message the customer. I know it's like about replacing things, but the app wants you to scan every single barcode, everything you pick up, and it just takes so much time to like, gotta scan this avocado, gotta scan this onion, gotta scan this. It's like, oh my god. So
I know you can miss me with that. I'm doing DoorDash. I'll pick out some food for you and me, and then that's it. I'm not stopping. I'm not buying your groceries. I'm not buying my own groceries if I don't want to. I'm not going out to buy your groceries for you.
I mean, I think it's a pretty good deal if you're just like, I need to have 2 hours. I want to earn like guaranteed amount of money, so you can pick up like a $30, a $20, whatever, and you go get that done real quick, or maybe not super quick. But with like DoorDash and Uber Eats and Postmates and all that jazz, you're not gonna for sure get a good order. You're gonna get like anywhere from like $3 to $10 usually on delivery, and while it's gonna be a lot quicker, it's a lot less. It's a lot less valuable, I would say. So you gotta do a lot more. But if you just like, I just want to go to the grocery store, I'll do some shopping while there. Especially if you're going on your own. Mm-hmm. You can pick up whatever, like 1 or 2 items you're going to pick up the other order, drop that off on your way back home. Bada bing, bada boom. You can easily figure this out into your life if you want to make a little side hustle money.
Yeah, or you can sell drugs. That's also a viable thing that will never go away.
The To Be Continued podcast does not agree with this statement here.
Well, we definitely agree with you getting to the bag.
For all liability reasons, this is not intended for you to follow our instructions at all.
No. We're not saying that you should go do this thing. I'm just pointing out that there's a huge possibility in you being able to make money by doing said thing of your own volition, not being told by either of us here at To Be Continued. If you want to be on those corners, selling whatever you're selling, that's on you. I'm not buying, but I'll definitely drive by and go, Wow. Haven't seen that in a while.
I haven't seen that. It's just like, man, that guy's selling lemonade. That's not lemonade.
That's
Never
not
mind. Yeah, but I think those people are actually like doing something good for their life as far as monetary value goes, because they're putting that hustle in, right? They're just trying to make a little bit of buck, a little bit of scratch. And for a lot of people, it's just weed. To be fair, like it's just weed most of the time. So it's just illegal in their state, and they're just trying to make a little bit of cash.
Yeah.
And it probably pays pretty well. I know I've talked to some people that are like, yeah, I make like $5,000 a month selling weed before it was legal. I'm like, damn, dude.
Now they're homeless.
Now they have a job because
now they have a legitimate job and trajectory for their life.
Well, I mean, the thing is that dispensaries open up, and then all these people that were making a great side hustle are like, well, damn, I don't have my customers anymore because I got undercut. But, it's great for the state. It takes care of a bunch of things. We get a lot more taxes in. But it's all about being adaptable. Hey, you're going from weed to, I don't know, something a little bit harder. I'm not going to say anything specific, but
heroin.
You're making your money. Good on you. Just try and make it a little bit more legal next time.
Yeah, I like the idea of weed having been illegal and such, and people going out selling drugs, and then weed becoming legal. And you probably got into that job because you either couldn't get a legal paying job or didn't want one. Now probably have one because of the legality of weed now. Government got you.
That was a weird twist, right? It's like, yeah, I didn't want to work a 9 to 5, so I started selling weed. Weed went out of style for the side hustle guy. It became a dispensary thing. So I opened a dispensary, and what do you know? I have a legal business now. I work 9 to 5.
Yeah, now I gotta work 9 to 5. I gotta pay taxes on my business. How did they get me like this? They're smart. They know what they're doing out there.
I mean, I think that was the whole argument with legalizing weed, right? They're like, we know people are selling it. It doesn't matter if we outlaw it. We know it's going to be sold, so why not just legalize it and take the tax revenue from it? And that's basically what's happened. I mean, I think Colorado, they made like billions in tax revenue their first year. Because everyone's just like, we'll just drive to Colorado, I guess.
Yeah, man. That's why they got to start putting tax on cocaine. That's where all the real money is.
See, I mean, it's a little different. I would say there's
white powder.
There's been a little bit more studies into
a nose can't. Power my nose real quick, guys.
Just let everyone know we are not doing drugs on the podcast.
Yeah.
We are not the Joe Rogan show. As much as people would love to see that on every podcast. We are currently not doing drugs, at least in this episode.
Yeah, I've never done drugs on the podcast.
Maybe we'll do that one day. If we ever get like Elon Musk on the podcast, we'll go ahead and like, hey, you want to recreate a scene from the Joe Rogan podcast and just pass around a joint?
If Elon Musk wants to pay me for us to do that, yeah.
He would pay us to be on our podcast, despite the fact that he's got billions of dollars.
He wants to drop a couple, a cool 100 mil for a little joint. Yeah, okay, dude. Hell, 100 mil. We'll hit the nose a little. I'll hit the nose for you. We'll go to the bathroom real quick and come out extra excited for no reason.
I'm a family man. I am never I've done edible one time. I'm never gonna do.
I'll eat a mushroom or two. That's what I want to do.
Look, if you got me like the little drops or whatever that they sell that make you like calm or whatever that don't have any psychedelic effects, maybe I'd consider it.
I mean, a mushroom lasts maybe like 4 to 6 hours before it dissipates.
4 to 6 hours?
We would just be
busy
here.
Man.
Yeah, okay, you can make some DoorDash deliveries. No, don't do that. That sounds terrible. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure I get pulled over for that.
We'll just chill here with Elon, right? We'll just chill for 4 to 6 hours. I don't know, watch a movie, see what happens.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good break point for us to just remind everyone. Petit Regal Bakery sponsors the To Be Continued podcast. If you're in the local Indianapolis area, make sure you go check out the AMP on 16th in Indiana. If you're listening to this during the winter, we'll be at the Winter Farmers Market. And if you listen to this during the summer, check out Bedford Farmers Market, Fisher's Farmers Market, Carmel Farmers Market. You'll find us. Check out the petitregalbakery.com website or even the Instagram if you want to see all the different types of macarons we make. Now, I will say, have you heard about Elon Musk selling like 10% of his stock for like $1 billion, whatever, $6 billion? I don't even know the number, but it's like a ridiculous number.
I saw a little article title about it, and I don't care, and I just kind of moved on because it was, I don't know what I was doing, but I just didn't care, and I needed to continue onwards.
I think it's hilarious because to me, Elon Musk is really becoming like the Walt Disney of this generation. Like Walt Disney was such a big influential player in the 80s and 90s, right? And he created all these movies and he did all this stuff in the parks, and everyone's just like, oh, wow, we got to go to Disney World. Now everyone's like, man, Elon Musk, dude's freaking dope. I'm going to just throw all my money into his Tesla stock. Super highly inflated. I think it would take like 2,000 years to make your money back through dividends. But, you know, the guy's like, yeah, let me put out a Twitter poll. See if you guys want me to sell 10% of my stock. Let me see if you can put a plan together. I'll end world hunger right now. That was a real thing. Like, people are just like, hey, Elon, we need $6 billion to end world hunger. He's like, show me a plan. I'll do it right now.
No, just write up a quick draft real quick, and, you know, I'll put money towards it. I'll do it myself. That'd be pretty crazy.
In case you haven't really heard about this, it was like the World Health Organization. They tweeted at him like, hey, you have all this money. We only need like $6 billion to end world hunger. And he was like, all right, show me.
Like, nah, I'm good.
It's like, helping the world, that's not my mission. I just want to get to Mars.
I was like, ooh, ending world hunger? How's that going to help me, though? I'm not starving.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing, right? He said that to them, and they're trying to, like, put together a plan, but then somebody else came through. I don't think it was, like, the WHO, but it was, like, some person who had been working on world hunger for the past, like, 20 years or something. He said it wouldn't cost, like, $6 billion. He said it would cost, like, $16 billion. But he did actually send him a plan. And I'm curious if Elon's actually going to work on that at all or not. It's going to save humanity single-handedly. It's like, end world hunger, get us to Mars, like, make flying cars. I mean, like, damn, this guy brought in, like, new generation all by himself.
Yeah, make everyone immune to varying disease and sickness.
No, that's Bill Gates. You know, he's trying to put microchips in everybody, according to the rumors.
I don't really need microchips. I just need nanobots.
Nanobots. Look, if nanobots are real, would you get them?
Yeah.
You're not concerned about that at all?
Not really.
All right. You would get the first generation?
If it comes with software updates.
Because, hold on, bro. I need to update my white blood cells.
Oh, wait a minute. Ooh,
they're not working as functions anymore.
I'm trying to have some cool nanobot technology. I guess I'm already trying to get a robot hand. Once, you know, I feel comfortable for having a robot hand. I'm not done with the current living hand yet.
We need them to come out with, like, cyborgs robotic hand.
Yeah. I need a nice, fully functioning, just robot hand that can change into whatever I need at the moment.
Yeah, I need a hand that can pick a car.
Yeah. If I can't punch through this, like, I can't bend steel beams, and what's the point of the robot hand, right?
I think what you need is, like, Winter Soldier's robot hand. So, like, you're super strong, but then you need to combine that with, like, Drex from, like, Osmosis Jones, where he's like, let me make a smoothie with my arm really quick.
Yeah, man. That's what I need. I need to go back and rewatch Osmosis Jones.
Dude, Osmosis Jones is ahead of his time, I think. It was really, really good. I think if they remade it nowadays, they could throw in a lot more references for sure, because I think that was getting towards, like, the gentrification sort of thing, where, you know, things were just changing from the old school to new school. And I think that would be one of the IPs that I'd be okay with them making a sequel to now.
Yeah, don't mess it up.
Don't mess it up.
Somehow. They'll definitely mess it up. But
they're gonna like make it be produced by Michelle Obama, and she's gonna be like, all right, guys, so this avocado toast your host is eating, not good for your body. Full of trans fats. It's gonna be like nutritional, and it's gonna be like, this isn't what I signed up for. I didn't want to care what the guy's eating. I just want the, like, action.
Oh, man. That'll be half the video. Just you learning about what you should and shouldn't be eating.
Just slip in a little rap about like apples and carrots and stuff.
Oh man, yeah, it'd be bad. I'm good.
They're good.
Yeah, I'm good. I I wanted to really, really enjoy like the live action Lion King like remake and stuff. And I was like, some of this is all right, but a lot of this I didn't care for. It was kind of weird.
Live action's been a thing that hasn't worked out well for many different types of genres. I mean, I can name a couple off the top of my head. Let's start with the Dragon Ball Z live action movie. It's one of the worst films produced of all time. I think pretty much every rating system says that. Yeah, it's a cult classic, sure, but it's an awful movie.
That movie doesn't make any sense and doesn't apply to anything within the Dragon Ball lore whatsoever.
Can you think of any time that live action's actually been beneficial to the format?
Beneficial to the format.
I mean, like, maybe Street Fighter could be okay, or is this not Street Fighter? It's like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat was alright. The first one, Annihilation, was pretty bad. The new one that came out somewhat recently, the remake, is okay, except fuck Cole. Why would you make a brand new character no one gives a fuck about as a guy? Who gives a shit about Cole? Cole's entire thing is to get the shit beat out of him. The whole movie, essentially.
He's just a red shirt. He's just there to get beat up.
He's just there to get his ass kicked left and right and then complain about things. I was like, why is this the main character? I don't care. Make the main character someone I actually know in Mortal Kombat, not some new guy. But I would say the live action Death Note on Netflix definitely made people go watch the actual Death Note.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a great example. I completely blanked on that. Live action Death Note, fantastic. I mean, maybe it's not true to the story 100%, but it's still a really good live action film for like what was made.
Yeah, and like I said, it really served people to go, oh man, that was pretty cool. It's like, now I kind of want to see the actual anime of Death Note, and holy shit, that's what this was.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it wasn't as intense as maybe the manga or anime was, but I think it didn't need to be. I think if they tried to jam it all in, it would have just been very confusing, and people would have been like, what is this movie?
Yeah, if they just try to jam that entire storyline into like that hour and a half to 2 hours of film, it'd be Eternals, and I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? I hate this.
Is Eternals out? Did you see that already?
I did see it, yeah, it's out.
Oh, wow. I've only seen the trailer, so based on your review, I'm guessing they did too much in one movie.
Think about this, dude. It's a team, right? And there's like fucking 8 of them or some shit. And they're trying to tell a story of 8 different people all in one like 2-hour film. There's a lot of cool plots in it and points that kind of just get sped run through. It should have been like a Disney Plus show, so that you can actually flesh out these storylines and these characters instead of just running through all of it so quickly.
Would you consider Marvel to be live action? Because it is based off like a comic book.
Yeah, it's based off the varying comic book series.
I mean, they do say like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so it's like they want to differentiate it from live action sort of thing. But I mean, in a true sense, you could say that all of those movies are like a live action version of these things.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say it's definitely live action. I would say it's probably more considered in the live action section of like the recent phases than the originals, because they wanted to make it more realistic in the grounded sense for varying characters for the comic book series in the earlier films, and they're going more to more comic booky stuff now because you had to get people used to the comic book stuff without it like blowing up proportion. I mean, even with like they just started Hawkeye on the Disney Plus show and everything, and Hawkeye as a character originally was wearing, like in the early MCU things, was wearing like his all black, sort of more grounded, neutral, everyone knows what this looks like sort of thing, and not his comic book like purple.
Yeah,
what he's like starting to get more into.
I haven't seen the Disney Plus show, but I want to. I think it's actually been one of the things that I'm more intrigued by. I wasn't super intrigued with some of the movies that were coming out. Black Widow, Shang-Chi is cool and all, but I wasn't like, this is vital to like all the stories and stuff, right? Because we haven't been with Shang-Chi the whole time. It's like, this is his introduction. But because Hawkeye's been around since like the original Thor, I think that's like his earliest introduction.
Yeah.
He's been around a minute, so it's like, oh, well, what's he actually up to? So I'm actually kind of interested in that.
Yeah, I think so. It's very fun because Hawkeye is like almost no one's favorite Avenger, but the show.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I feel
in the comic book universe,
yeah,
Hawkeye is not the guy. Hawkeye is a guy. It's like, okay, yeah, oh yeah, and Hawkeye's on the team. He's like, yeah, he's on the team. He's not like the best, but he's there.
They're like, this is Iron Man. He's like a genius. He's got nanotechnology. This is Thor. He's got lightning and he's got magical powers and he's super strong. He's like God. This is Hawkeye. He's really good with a bow and arrow.
Yeah. People, I mean, you love the femme fatale of Black Widow more than you like Hawkeye, and they're not that different when it comes to things. It's just, oh shit, Black Widow, she's over there doing cool spy shit with like spy things, and she's an assassin and all this Russian stuff, and it's hot. And then it's like, oh, Hawkeye, yeah, he kind of works for S.H.I.E.L.D. and shoots a bow and arrow. It's like, why a bow and arrow? Because he does.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Hawkeye is not super developed, I would say. I mean, he's got some abilities sometimes where he's like a little bit stronger than normal human. And he did practice a bunch, and he did go really badass during like Infinity War, and his family was gone. But at least with like Black Widow, she did have like a multitude of talents. And even at one point, they introduced her as like a hacker in like Iron Man 3 or whatever. And I mean, they never use it again. But they could just be like, yeah, she can do that. And then everyone's like, yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, well, Hawkeye doesn't need the hack. He has USB arrows to hack for him.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
That we've seen one time.
Anything that you put on the stick, he's got it.
Yeah, if I can put it on an arrow, it's on the arrow, baby. But no, I'll definitely watch the show and everything. Like, it's a Christmas story. It's fun.
Is it a Christmas story?
Yeah, it's a I've got a week before Christmas sort of thing.
Oh wow! I'm completely blown away because the only trailer I've seen is like him and his daughter. I think it's his daughter. It's not his daughter. All right, him and someone else with the bow. I was like, oh okay, cool. So they're gonna fight with bows now. Yeah, like, that's kind of neat.
It's great. Yeah, it's the story of Kate Bishop, who's supposed to be like, she's like the one Hawkeye's my favorite Avenger person.
Oh, okay. No, that's. We'll see how that goes. I mean, Loki was great. They've been putting in a lot of work. I actually went through and watched the first episode, like Winter Soldier and Falcon too. I'm going to go through and watch that because that seems pretty cool. So, I mean, I have a lot of faith in Marvel's Disney Plus series.
Yeah, like I said, I very much enjoy Disney Plus series because you having that time to really flesh out characters and everything and tell longer, more intricate stories. Introduce some cool other like villains and stuff because they've got a cool villain that I definitely wouldn't see in like a film, but I'm very glad to see her here in this Disney Plus show.
Yeah, they have more time to develop her. I mean, as somebody with less powers, you're gonna need more time to actually make the villain not feel like a villain.
Yeah,
and I think that's really the trait that Marvel's got is like they can take people that seem so simple, like no, they actually like have real reasons for what they're doing these things. But I think we're going to have to wrap it up there. If you like what you hear, please subscribe on Google Podcasts, Spotify. You can check us out on Anchor. Check us out on our Patreon. We have different rewards there. You can even just do $5 a month, buy us a coffee, get us new drinks for the show. If you want to send in something, we're still in the middle of setting up a P.O. box. We'll definitely take some interesting suggestions, whether that's like pickle soda or something. We'll try it out. And then our $10 and $20 tier gets you bonus content if you want to see more from this episode in our continued series on Patreon. It's only $10 a month. For $20 a month, you get access to sheets, rants, and Tea Time with Troy, where we have our own individual topics we like to talk about, whether Rashid goes more into depth in his family or like Marvel, or I go into really interesting details on tea and like DoorDash. And then if you're really balling out there, you got a little bit of cash, you can go ahead and do our $50 or $100 tier, where we'll actually sit down and talk to you once a month, or we'll shout you out at the end of the credits. We appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for listening.
No, yeah. You guys take it easy. Have a good rest of your whatever day it is.